Hey guys. Okay, so it's story time, and this is going to be on inventions, history. So we are going to be talking about the washer, the laundry machine. Now this was a suggestion request from my mother. So let's go on ahead and begin. Of course, back in the older days, people would beat their clothes on rocks and streams. And they would use like ashes and animal lard and sand to use like a type of detergent to rub on the clothes and get them cleaner. Quite frankly, I could only imagine by using animal fat, you only made your clothes look greasy. I can't imagine that. I think I'd rather use clean sand. I don't know. But anyway, finally, in 1797 by James King, the scrub board was created. Now, and I kind of went through two individual places to look up for my info. So, in 1767, a Jacob Schaefer, or Schaefer, I guess it'd be Schaefer, Jacob Schaefer, he done the true invention of the washing machine. Anyway, so after he done the original invention of the washing machine, 30 years later, Briggs obtained the first patent for a washer that involved pouring hot water in it and turning a lever to wash the clothes and then run them through two rollers and drain the water out of a tap. Uh, 210 years later, the electric washer was made. And King also created the washer that it looked like the modern tub, but it was hand powered. I know that this is all jumpy. I'm having to read through the notes. I mean, seriously, the way that I read it in two different places, it was like I'm trying. When I read something, I try to literally remember what I read. But on one site that I looked up, it was very vague. On the other side I looked up, it was a little bit more into detail. So, forgive me for bouncing around and kind of being stop motion talking here, being stop motion talking. But that's because I'm trying to keep you in line here instead of getting too far ahead. In 1858, Hamilton Smith patented the rotary tub. Then in 1874, William Blackstone built a washer that removed and washed away dirt from the clothes. He actually made it as a birthday present for his wife. And it was the first built for the convenience of the home. The drum washers in 1905 was still hand cranked, but because the drums were steel, it allowed for a coal burner to be put underneath to heat the water. That's pretty cool. 1908, the Hurley Machine Company created a machine named Thor. Thor was a drum type that was galvanized, and it had an electric motor. And Maytag, believe this, Maytag originally started selling out just farm equipment. Yeah, but like during the winter time, of course, when there wasn't very much farming that could be done, he needed another way of making money, so he started making washers. Eventually, he went full-time into washers and dryers. His was wooden tubs, though. His was wooden tubs, and that was in 1907. Whirlpool started in 1911, and they started as the Upton Machine Company. They produced the electric wringer washer. The Skutless Group started in 1909. In 1949, they backed the invention of the punch card control for the washers. Punch card control. 1951, they produced the first automatic washer in Europe. In 1978, they produced the first microchip-controlled automatics. In the 20s, washers became electric, but it was only for the motors. Just the motors were electric. In the 30s, they became automatics. In the 30s, the washers became automatics. The washers really started advancing, though, in the 1980s. Some machines are now hooked up to Wi-Fi. Others can clean without detergent. And even some has touch screens. Our washer has a touch screen. Now, it's not like the touch screen where you see pictures and you click on a picture or anything, but it doesn't have any dials on it whatsoever. It's got a panel that you just press on whatever it says. You just press on it. There's no dials whatsoever. No buttons or anything. You touch that panel. In 1915, Speed Queen put the first directional wringer on market. Directional. I reckon like the first wringers, they could only pull the clothes out this way. You start from the barrel and go out. But I remember like the old machines, the old wringers. I used to wash clothes on a wringer, and I enjoyed it. I really did. I liked using the wringer. But the wringer had forward and reverse. You could run the clothes through and then put in reverse and run them back through again. It was in the 20s that the motors became waterproof and had two speeds for regular wash and spinning. 1937, John Chamberlain invented a multifunction which washed, spun, and rinsed all in one cycle. So, yeah. So it comes right down to it, like, washers have gone through a whole lot. I mean, you go from beating your clothes on a rock in a stream using sand or lard, or, you know, trying your best to get the dirt out of the clothes. Of course, the clothes never did smell right. I mean, you could at least get them clean, but I can imagine they still smelled like the great outdoor. Later on down the road, sometime or another, they started making wash houses, which also worked to help with keeping diseases down. So in other words, they would like gather the water through some filtration system from the streams so that it would be more sanitizing, and therefore was a little safer for the clothes. You know, wouldn't be transmitting diseases like what would be washed down the stream from an animal who might have, you know, done their business and got washed away down the stream. I mean, you wouldn't want that on your clothes. And so with the wash houses, women would gather around with their laundry, and, you know, they would be doing the laundry, and they would do the gossip for the week. And then as it came about that the washers were created, the more convenient ones were too expensive, and so they were placed in like laundromats and stuff, and people still didn't have the convenience of having them into their own home because they were just too expensive. And so as time went by, I mean, they still are expensive, especially the newfangled ones that's got every bell and whistle. Seriously, they can be outrageous. They really can. And there still are laundromats, but people more and more has the conveniences of having the machine in their own home. But it's really, it's interesting how the machine has evolved. And a lot of the machines were created by men, so that tells me the men was listening to their wives complain about their aching backs. I mean, think about it. You don't have any means of washing clothes other than bending over and working with them, right? Or like your aching shoulders because you finally have a churning drum, but you have to work that drum yourself, so your shoulders are like, yeah, I think some men was listening to their wives complain about how painful it was to get the laundry done. Like, I could imagine it. Honey, I need my pants washed. Oh, darling, I really dread to go to that wash house today. Oh, my goodness, it gets to making my back ache so bad. Well, I'll get right down to the drawing board and I'll see what I can create for you, darling, because I don't want your back hurting you no more. But, you know, I am grateful to the inventors who came up with the more convenient ways for the washers to work. Seriously. And even though there is some work to it, like you do have to add the detergent, if you choose to use warm water, you've got to separate your colors. If you use cold water, which I tell you, there's two good things about using cold water. One, you're saving on electric because you're not using hot water. Two, you don't have to separate the clothes according to color. You can wash them all together. And the great thing is the clothes still get clean. I don't have a problem one bit getting my laundry clean using cold water. And I love it that I don't have to separate the clothes according to color. I get to throw them all in at once. No, if someone would invent a way to fold the clothes and put them away. I guess that's getting a little bit too lazy, right? Anyway, but yeah, the convenience of the washer is just, it's great. It's great. To go from back-breaking, bending over streams to working in a wash house where you still had to break your back because you was manually shifting the tub around, to them washing the clothes themselves, but you still had to wring them out, to finally them spinning and rinsing on their own. Ingenious. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. Mom, this was yours. Next week sometime or another, it won't be Friday, but possibly on Saturday, anytime next week I'll be doing another one, and this will be another viewer request, so I will be doing another one sometime next week. I hope that you enjoyed this little history lesson on the great convenience of the washer. The machines that we appreciate so much. And I will be seeing you tomorrow with the journey vlog. Anyway, have a great day.